What's going on, folks? So I want to talk about one thing I think gun tubers and gun dorks, geeks like us are, I think we miss. And that is that the vast majority of gun owners, Second Amendment advocates are casuals. Okay, that's the best to use like video game terms or whatever. They're casuals. They're casual gun owners. And it's a super vast majority. I think gun geeks, autistic gun nerds like us, these dorks that geek out on all these dates and this collector stuff, and I'm right in there with y'all, man. I am with you. I think we're in our bubble and we forget about the casual gun owner. And the casual gun owner doesn't keep up on modern trends. They only own 1 to 4 guns, maybe a shotgun that grandpa gave them, maybe a semi-auto pistol, a 357 Magnum, because everybody's got to have a 357 Magnum, a 357, you know what I mean? Like, especially the rednecks, they love the 357, man, 357. And then maybe they have a hunting rifle because they hunt. They might have max 4 guns, 1 to 4 guns, okay? They're not crazy gun people. They don't want anybody to come after their guns. They are supporters of the Second Amendment. But the best way to describe them is they're casuals. And there's nothing wrong with that. They don't get into, it's almost like a weekend golf player that is not hitting the links or whatever the golf people call it. You know, or insert sport here, hitting the links every single weekend. Every weekend we're shooting 18 holes, bro, and they're buying the most expensive whatever golf clubs are, pings and this and that. Okay, they're not that. They might go to Top Golf every once in a while, have a couple beers and hit the driving range, and occasionally, maybe once a year on their birthday, they might play golf. Or fishermen. I'm gonna go to Walmart, I'm gonna buy me a $10 pole, go down the local pond and fish. I'm not in the position to buy an $80,000 bass boat and go all in. And those are not the casual. Those are like with guns, those are the super gun geek, gun nerd, gun collector guys like us that typically watch all this kind of stuff. But again, I digress. The vast majority of people that practice their Second Amendment rights usually fire 50 to 100 rounds a year. You know, and of course there's varying degrees of people that will go buy a gun, load it, maybe shoot it at the range one time, take it home, put it away, and it sits in a drawer for 20 years and they never use it again. They just have it for home defense in case somebody breaks in the house. And that's fine. But we will recommend things to people because we're in our gun dork bubble. We will recommend the best of the best to people. And I agree, you should buy whatever you can afford and suit your needs for what you're buying that gun for. And 2, the best that you can afford. If you can afford a $4,000 Nighthawk 1911 or a Staccato or something like that, and you're into that type of stuff, buy it. But if the only thing you can afford and the only one you want a budget-friendly or cheap, whatever you want to call it, budget-friendly semi-automatic 9mm handgun, and you're not going to carry it, you're going to take it home, like I said, put it in the drawer, you don't got any kids, whatever, you might occasionally shoot beer cans with it in the woods or something, and you only have a budget of $300, or that's all you want to spend, even if your budget is higher than that, and you're like, nah, I'm not really into that, I don't see the value in paying $4,000 for a handgun. What's wrong with the $220 handgun? Now I'm going to show you kind of what I'm talking about here. So this is the Taurus G3, right? I know Taurus, for us gun guys, Taurus, they got a shit reputation and all that other kind of stuff. This one so far has been dead nuts reliable, and it's pretty accurate. I did a review of this. I don't think it's out by the time I'm doing this video, but it's coming. If it is, check it out, but if not, it's coming. It has been totally reliable. Now, maybe it only has 350, 400 rounds through it. Maybe around there. It's definitely accurate enough. And it accomplishes the mission, which is launches hot metal through the air downrange at targets, right? Whatever that target may be. So you say, so for gun guys, 350 rounds, 400 rounds, that ain't shit. I don't even trust a gun until it's got 1,000 rounds to it. Then I'll carry it. Okay, you are autistic gun geek like the rest of us. Congratulations, welcome to the family, all right? And I completely respect that and 100% agree with that. But this Taurus right here has more rounds on it than most people that would buy a Taurus. Most people would buy this. I live in Wyoming, and my neighbors, I rarely hear them shoot. They all have guns, and they'll shoot occasionally, and mostly it's during hunting season, stuff like that. But I'll shoot more rounds in a day than I'll hear a lot of them shoot in 6 months, at least out here on all our property, because we can all shoot on our property. So some people that buy these, have bought these, buy it, take it to the range, put a box of 50 through it, or maybe even half a box. Put a box of 50 through it, take it home, and put it in a drawer. And that's it. And it's perfectly adequate for that. And this was $229. And I've seen people pay $189, $199 for them, okay? And this has 17 round magazine. You see that? 17 rounds of 9mm. Is it a go-to-war gun? I would not say this is a go-to-war gun. I would say this is a commercial, casual gun. I wouldn't say that this is to the level of police duty, although the police in Brazil use Taurus, I think, still to this day. But, you know, for a casual gun owner, which again is the vast majority, I don't want to put a percentage on it, but I would say it's way up there. This is completely sufficient and adequate and a good deal, and they see paying $200 as a fair price for a semi-automatic handgun. Now, here's another example. This is my FN High Power, the new one. A video has dropped on this. This is a cool gun. But this thing, like after tax and all that kind of stuff, was close to 13, okay? This thing accomplishes the same mission as this thing. It really does. It's a little bit more accurate. It's more refined. It is a better handgun. It is. And I see the value of 13. This might be a little bit overpriced, but I see the value between all the machining and the craftsmanship and the reliability. But there's still, this one's got a little bit more rounds through this one. This one I just got, I've shot maybe 100, 150 rounds. Of course, no issues with it. But they accomplish the same mission. They both hold 17 rounds. That's kind of why I pulled this one out. They both hold 17 rounds. They both shoot 9mm. They're both accurate for defensive purposes. So a lot of casuals would say, what? I'm not paying this much money for this. They don't see the value in it. Okay, I see the value in both of these. If I had to choose one, of course I'd choose the FN. Who wouldn't if they could afford it? But that's, you know, I think when we're recommending, I think we don't realize sometimes when I say budget-friendly firearms and all this other kind of stuff, that the vast majority of people, now maybe not the people that watch a lot of gun or firearm YouTube, and there's some people that start in slow and then up their game. But I think as YouTubers and as gun nerds, gun geeks, we tend to ignore budget firearms, budget commercial grade, casual, you know, thing like, for example, AKs, right? I have AKs all the way from Arsenal down to Pioneer Arms and PSAs and Centuries and everything in between, okay? I am fully aware, 100% fully aware, having gone through it myself with PSA, having issues and pop primers and the headspace issues. I am fully aware of what I'm getting into when I spend my money on a PSA. You're rolling the dice, okay? So if you are fully aware of what you're doing with your money, I don't have a problem. I don't see the problem in buying PSA. If you go, yeah, it's a crapshoot. Yeah, I know it's not a go to war. I'm going to put 30,000 rounds through the gun type of stuff. I'm going to occasionally shoot it. I like it for its aesthetics. I like it for its drip. I like it because it's kind of cool. I like it because you can't get anything similar for even close to this price. A lot of people will look at PSA and say, I really want an AK. And they will buy, and yes, there are other options out there like Yugos, which are like over $1,000 now at the time of making this video. And Wassers, you could pick them up for $750 to $850, yada, all that kind of stuff. But if you want an AK-74 style, or you want certain guns, sometimes PSA offers those for $850 to $1,000. If you want that similar gun in an arsenal, you're talking like $28,000 to $3,000. And I don't know that an AK-47 and its variants are worth $3,000. I don't know that they're out there that they're worth. Some people will debate me on that, but some people don't see the value, and I understand that, of paying $3,000 for an AK pattern rifle when they can get one for $850. And the ammo's so damn expensive, they're just gonna buy a couple hundred rounds here and there. And when they go out, there are people, I know people like this, they will literally shoot a 20 round box of 7.62 by 39. And they're like, I'm good, a year. And they'll just buy a couple here and there. They got a couple extra pennies in their pocket. They're at the store, let me grab a couple boxes. And that stuff adds up over time. Let me grab a couple boxes, 7.62 by 39. Let me, especially now because it's expensive. Let me do this, let me do that. And then they're like, yeah, we're going to shoot, man. And they'll bring 5 boxes. I got my 100 rounds, let's go. And they'll load up 20 in a mag in the banana clip, and bang, 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 yeah. And they'll do that 5 times. And that's their range session for the year of shooting their AK, because a lot of people really don't have, again, gun nerds, gun geeks like us will find a way. But a lot of people don't have access to a rifle range that allows them to shoot a high-powered rifle or any intermediate cartridge, rifles. So they only shoot 100 rounds out of their AK a year. And if you have a PSA that's life is 5,000 rounds, as long as you're fully aware of the potential issues with that gun and those lines of guns, if you shoot 100 rounds, let's say you shoot 200 rounds, let's do the math. 200 rounds a year out of your AK, and those are what casual folks do, okay? The dorks like us will save up money and buy that arsenal, or buy that barrel, or buy the insert high-end, really nice Kalashnikovs. But these people, if you do 200 rounds a year, in 5 years, that's 5 years. That's 1,000 rounds. And if the rifle goes 5,000 rounds, okay, what is that, 25 years of the life expectancy of that rifle? Even if it goes 5 years on average, and you shoot 1,000 rounds a year, which is a little over 100 a month, right? A little less than 100 a month. Even if you shoot that gun will go 5 years. And for a lot of guys, 5 years on their gun, they've probably traded it off by then, or whatever or they'll go, it finally breaks them. Man, I had this thing for 5 years. It's been dead nuts reliable. And it's been, again, we got to try to see it from the casual gun owner's perspective, because we're deep in the weeds. We're in here arguing about PSA is shit, and this one's great, and that one's shit, and I don't have issues with mine, and this and and blah, 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 and this FN is not worth $1,200. Yes, it is, because you never shot one, and it's great. And this Taurus, my Taurus is just as good, and it's not duty rated, but the Taurus will last forever. I know, I got a Taurus, my old man. I did a video, I don't know if it's out yet either by the time, on a PT 100. It's the Beretta clone in 40. He gave it to me. Now it's been in our family for, God, when did I go to the Army? For 33 years, 33 years. It's never had to go back to Taurus. And it's been shot a lot. I couldn't guess the range, but 40 will beat up a gun. It's been shot a lot. I don't think it's even had the recoil spring changed. So they will go, okay? And that's the way most people look. What can I get for my $300? Because they're not into it like us, okay? They see it as strictly a tool, or maybe, a fun range toy that they're not going to dedicate their hobbies in. A lot of people have multiple hobbies, and if they're dumping, let's say their main hobby, all right, is rebuilding hot rod or building hot rods. They're dumping most their money into hot rod, but they need a gun. So they're gonna, They won't buy this part for their car for $300. They'll be like, all right, I'm going to budget $300 to $500 for a gun. I need me a handgun. I won't buy this part this month. I'll buy the handgun. And they'll take it out. Again, they'll shoot one box and it'll be perfect. Watches. A lot of people got Casio watches. Most people will be like, I need a really reliable watch. They'll go buy a $15 digital Casio watch, which keeps better time than this Breitling. Okay, this Breitling, this is the B01 Chronomat in Bentley Green. Amazing. It was like $8,800. Okay, $8,800. Is it worth that much? No, it doesn't even, I bet you the Casio keeps better time because it's a digital watch. It keeps better time than this. But this looks better. This made from exotic materials. It's a finely crafted Swiss watch. It's an automatic. It's, so that's where people, if you're a watch geek, you'll be like, oh, that's nothing. Hey, that's a deal. I got that on a steal. It's below MSRP or whatever. And you will not blink at spending over 10 grand on a wristwatch, on a Rolex, a Breitling, any of the top high-end Swiss help. Some of those watches go up to $500,000. But you will not blink twice if that is your hobby, if that is your passion, if that is your love. You will not blink twice in spending that much money on a wristwatch. Most people that own and buy wristwatches are casual wears. They might have one or two. They might have had one passed down, but they go, well, hell, they buy Apple Watches nowadays. That's by far, by a wide margin, the largest selling watch, which it's not, it's kind of like a little mini wrist computer, but I digress. They buy a G-Shock. The G-Shock will last forever. They replace the battery every 5 years and they just keep it rolling until the damn thing just falls apart. And then they go buy another one for $50, or depending on which Casio you buy, $100, So there it is, guys. Let me know if you agree with me, disagree with me. Do you think I am correct about the vast majority of gun owners being casuals? And we need those casuals. We love those casuals. We want those people to step up their game and come into our side and be one of us in the cult, in the cult, the firearm, autistic cult. So thanks for watching, guys. We will see you next time.